What's up, MMA fans around the world, and welcome to JM Octagon, where we talk about everything mixed martial arts. Man, let's get down right into it. What really happened this weekend? We saw Font VS Chito Vera. That fight was insane. That fight was crazy. That fight, and it definitely had all the accolades of being the main event of the evening. Now, what really went down in this fight? It was, if I can narrow it down, it would be, the boxing fundamentals. It would be the boxing fundamentals of Font against strength and power and extreme cardio possessed by Chito Vera. Only those two, boxing fundamentals against cardio and strength from Chito Vera. That is it. That is it. Now, let's get down into boxing fundamentals. What are some of the things that we need to know about boxing, and did Font really use them? Now, number one is the leg position. Where are you placing your feet? How are you moving your feet? How are you switching stances? That is one. Number two, where is your head? The head position. And this is one of the key reasons why Font lost this fight. The head position. He got the footwork right. He got the intensity, the ferocity. He got the volume with him, and he could strike, he could punch, he could hit. Everything was working well, but his head position, that is where things went wrong. I'm not trying to say that he should be as good as Mike Tyson back in his days with, moving his head, bobbing and weaving and, back and forth and swinging and moving with the punches. If he's at that level, well and good for him. But his head was more stationary, and that is why those straight punches from Chito Vera kept coming in. And then, what really went wrong with Chito Vera? What was he doing wrong? The only thing, the only response, the only thing that Chito Vera had to present to Font was to coil, was to shell up like a snail. That is basically it. He just shelled up and covered his head. If Font really wanted to change the pace, he would have gone to the body more. He would have gone to the body more until Chito Vera dropped his hands to protect the lower body and then go upstairs. That would have been one of the ways, to see Font winning the game, because he was doing great, but he was headhunting way too much. He really wanted to knock him out. And, if a fight is going the distance with somebody like Chito Vera, might as well just try to come up with something creative instead of just headhunting, which really didn't serve him well. Now, what did Chito Vera do to make him win the fight? The leg kicks. It's all in the leg kicks, guys. Those things really add up. And the first ones, in the first round, that is basically all that that Chito Vera landed. Those leg kicks, and they were so devastating, they were so damaging. And once the legs are gone, your stance is gone. You can't really switch stances. You can't really, position your legs accordingly. But I also have to say that Font is insane. He's got crazy power. He's got an insane amount of hurt to help him withstand the kicks that were going on in that fight. Now, those kicks are accompanied by, the cardio that is possessed by Chito Vera, made Chito win the fight. Font, I talked about his head position, that he could have been switching and moving and changing his head position, because the straight jabs, those straight jabs are the ones that damaged his face. He could have easily dodged them if he was moving his head left, right, back, to avoid those straight jabs, to avoid those straight punches that were coming his way. Now, something else that it was more like a pattern in the fight. The fight would start. Something else that was like a pattern in the fight. The fight would start within the first 2.5 minutes. Font would push the pace. He would push the pace. He would, throw combinations, beautiful combinations, beautiful combinations. Punctuate them with kicks every now and then. And at that point of 2 minutes and 30 seconds, it's like they were timing each other. that 2 minutes and 30 seconds, the tide would switch, and Chito Vera would come, you know, firing from all cylinders. And the fighters, the judges, look at who is finishing strong. Now, Chito Vera landed a few things that dropped Rob Font. Those ones count more than volume. Like I always say, that when judges look at these fights, significant strikes, beats volume. Significant strikes beats volume. So, and most of the things that Rob Font was actually throwing, they were being blocked. Look at the video. Watch the tape. They were being blocked. And that was, you know, one thing that worked to his disadvantage. He should have gone to the body more. He should have, you know, instead of just head hunting. So, Rob Font did all he could, and at that 2 minutes and 30 seconds, that is where the tide would switch, and Chito Vera would go crazy and finish strong. Dropped him. He dropped Rob Font several times in the fight. Now, this is how he was dropping Rob Font. He would throw the same attacks and then switch. And when he was switching, look at him. He was doing really well. And I mean, Chito Vera was doing really well when he was in a southpaw stance. Those leg kicks were landing clean. You know, the shots to the head were landing clean. He was doing beautiful when he was in his southpaw stance. Then he landed a kick. He landed a kick that, you know, I can refer it to John Jones' spinning attack. Only that John Jones, when he's spinning, he likes to land that same kick in the body. He's landed basically in all the fight. He blocks one side and then he spins and hits you on the other side when you are moving right into that kick, so you can't avoid it. Now, what Chito Vera did, and that was amazing, that was a beautiful calculation by him, is that instead of landing that John Jones kick to the body, he landed it on Rob Font's head, and that was amazing. That was beautiful. That was perfectly timed, and he dropped Rob Font with that. And after that, man, the fight was going Chito Vera's way. Of course, look at the tapes. Within that 2 minutes 30 seconds, the tide would switch. Rob Font would throw something unique to drop him, and then after that, it was all over, just over him with punches, ground and pound. Something also that I have to point out, Chito Vera needs to work on his head position. He, instead of just curling up and shelling, he should be moving away from the punches. Think about if he was fighting somebody like Jose Aldo. Jose Aldo would have damaged him with body shots, would have damaged him with, you know, strength and power, and those leg kicks would have been landing if he just shelled up. You don't want to shell up when you're fighting somebody like Aldo. So those are the few things that I would like to point out in that fight. To casual fans, to those people who just like, you know, seeing people trade, throw, and, you know, beat each other. Well and good, that was an entertaining fight. But to people who like to bring it to the textbooks and fundamentals, then the head position, remember, and the leg position, where are you placing your feet? And how are you moving in the octagon? Are you circling the octagon? In which way are you circling through the, like, towards your opponent's power hand or power strikes, or you you know, circling the octagon towards his weak spots? Key things to be thinking about when you are watching fights. Watch the leg position and watch the head movements of the fighters. Those two things will, you know, definitely make or break a fight. Ladies and gentlemen, if you like this fight breakdown, please make sure that you give it a thumbs up, share, and comment. I would like to hear what your thoughts are based on this fight. And until next video that we'll be uploading soon, stay tuned. Bye now.